Okay, let's do it. Let's go live. Cool. Oh, that's cool. I think even that part where I said, okay, let's do it, that even made it on there.
It did? I don't think so.
No, I think it did. I think that.
I like
think
that
I
it
have to be
says James
careful.
Hobart where my picture is.
Oh, damn. You got replaced.
One day, miss one day, and I'm just kicked to the curb.
Woo. Uh-oh. I got too many audios on. What's going on here?
Yeah, what just happened?
I'm at my mom's house, and so I have my computer in front of me and then her computer in the back. Hey guys, what's up, Dingus Healthy Lifestyle? I got my computer in front of my mom's computer, and I just had the volume on both. I'm you know how they have these rolling blackouts in California? I don't know if you guys know this, but basically they'll just threaten it at a moment's notice to be like, hey, we're turning the power off. Josh knows, he lives in California. And so I have this generator, 200-watt generator being hooked up at my house that's gas powered, so that if the power goes off, I can still live in the life of luxury.
Nobody cares. Be quiet.
Josh Bridges, so good to see you. Welcome to the Sevan Podcast.
So good to see you. Oh, it's been so long. Hey, what are you drinking? It better be fucking good, dudes, or you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Listen,
I'm fired up. You already got me like pissed off. I couldn't get a coffee in because we gotta go. It's a live show. Integrity, Josh. Integrity. Come on, Sevan. Come back.
I am very disappointed. I'm very disappointed that I'm not drinking Good Dudes right now. I drink Good Dudes for every single one of my podcasts. What happened was, though, Josh, is I'm at my mom's house because I'm getting some electrical work done at my house with a generator put in.
I know. I was just there. I just left.
Where
I'm coming back from.
Oh, you mother.
Rosemary.
Oh, my God.
It's my favorite herb.
Hey, you know what's cool is Hobart was on the show yesterday, and both our moms are CrossFit famous for different reasons, but...
Yes. Jacob, good to see you, buddy.
Good to be seen. Hey, is this a good camera angle, or should I change my camera?
I think that you should have the strip club sign in the background, if that's where you're at.
This is a great show. We're not going to have to do shit, right?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's nicer than I thought.
What would you expect? I don't go to
It's a classy joint.
Yeah, man. It's a classy place with some good service.
Jacob, is it called Whispers?
Whispers, correct. Whispers.
So I was, you're parked pretty far away, too. If you park closer, do you think you'd get a better signal? I mean, your signal is good.
No, I don't really want to park that close, to be honest.
I interviewed, I think the guy's name is Jason Whitman. He's a UFC fighter. He fought a couple weeks ago, and he was doing the podcast with me from a parking lot also. And I said, I just interviewed Jacob Heppner. He was in a strip club parking lot. And I go, but I can't remember the name of it. And this guy was in Kansas too. And I go, it starts with a W. He goes, Whispers. He goes, that's a real shithole.
You're lying.
No.
Kansas City?
Somewhere around there. I mean,
he was from, I want to say he was set, I watched it actually. He was from South Kansas City. It was like Overland Park. Is Overland Park? Yeah, I think that's where he was from. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't think don't quote me, but I don't think there's very many in Kansas City. But on the outskirts of Kansas City, there's quite a few, and I'm the outskirts. So, yeah, Whispers. What a classy joint.
I invite Josh to be on every podcast with me when I have MMA fighters on for two reasons. Because he has 750,000 or 800,000 followers on Instagram, and I want my guests to be like, there's someone that's like worth being on the show with. And then also because he was a Navy SEAL, and like just to give me some clout.
You're welcome, buddy. I'll fucking help you out anytime I can, pal.
How many times has he accepted your invite?
Well, he's graciously denied it more than he's accepted it, but it's gracious denial.
I would gladly come on. I actually would love to talk to those guys because I've actually watched most of them, or at least parts of them. And, combat sports is something I've grown up in loving, wrestling, and then growing up watching boxing and now UFC constantly. Like I love talking to these guys and picking their brains and hearing their stories. And so,
Hey, did you wrestled
Excuse
in
me.
college? Did you go to college at Lindenwood?
Lindenwood, yep,
You went to
Mhm.
Lindenwood? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, you guys were in our. So I went to Central Methodist, so we played you guys for football, and you guys kicked our tails with
What
your
years were-
C squad. Every year.
Really, Lindenwood. See, when I was there,
Yeah.
I remember going to a football game and not seeing a first down in the first half. In that first half, whole first half, I was like, wow.
Wow.
Like our wrestling program was phenomenal when I was there, but the football team wasn't yet. But I do think I remember hearing it got better. And you're 32, Jacob?
I'm 31, so it would have
30.
been 08 to 12.
Oh
And
yeah,
you
way
guys-
after me.
You guys got pulled in a couple like guys who played at D1 or like played in the NFL and then dropped down to D1 and they couldn't get the grades or something. You guys got a couple guys in your team that were just they can't return. They just return it back up every time. So we never saw a first down either, to be honest, because there wasn't a need for one.
Yeah.
It was a good school though. I remember thinking St. Charles is a really cool town and,
Yeah,
a good outside of St. Louis.
Yeah, it was a nicer part of town. Had a lot of good sports programs. Our wrestling program was a pretty solid program. We had a phenomenal coach, Craig Martin. I think he recently retired. I don't think he's the coach there anymore. But yeah, we had some great programs. And then Lindenwood was literally 2 exits away from my house, so like high school, college, right there.
Hey, Jacob, do you know the story about how one time when Josh was at the frat house, he beat up 6 guys by himself while holding a beer with his left hand, and he was punching them just with his right hand? Just all jabs. It was crazy. There's video of it somewhere.
He can't jab with his right hand. He's not southpaw, so he's gonna have to jab with his left.
Damn. Damn.
Oh,
I've
just got
learned enough in
schooled.
these couple months.
You just got schooled, Sevan.
He's been studying you. He knows what hand,
Dude.
that you're southpaw. Hey, did you guys ever talk when you guys were at the CrossFit Games together? Did you guys ever like?
Yeah, we actually in 14 we were in the house together in Nike house.
At the games?
Or was that 16?
That was
The-
six-
16. Yeah,
16.
16. Yeah, 16.
16.
Sorry, not 14.
Yeah.
16.
And so you guys during the whole games week, you guys were in the same house together.
Yeah.
And did you guys seem like you guys liked
we
each
cuddled.
other?
We cuddled.
Did you
Hey,
guys?
what room were you in? Were you in the same hallway as me and Cole?
No,
Yeah,
I was
you
in
were
a,
at the-
I was in a
you were.
closet. I was in a closet, I thought. I'm dead serious.
I'm pretty sure
I was
you're
a
still in the
closet.
closet, buddy. I'm pretty sure you're
Oh.
still in the closet.
Just ask your mom. She
I
knows.
think you were at the beginning. I think you were in the beginning of the hallway. I think your room was at the first room in the hallway, and then me and Cole were further on down the hallway. Around the corner.
No. See, I had to move out of that room because I heard the people who were like the cooks that they had cooks, remember?
Oh,
And like
yeah.
it kept me up that first night. It
Ah,
kept me
yeah.
up the night, so I had to move rooms. But yeah, that's where I was supposed to be, and then I moved into a fucking closet. It was like
I didn't know
legitimately
that. I
a
feel
closet.
bad now.
I set up an air mattress and lived in a closet. I was like, this was not a good idea. It was a
what's
big
the-
closet. Don't get me wrong. It was a pretty big size. It was
The house
probably a
is
closet
huge.
3/4 the size of my room.
What's the date of your fight?
September 18th.
Okay, is it the 18th or is it the 17th?
So I think it will be aired here in the United States on the 17th, but I believe that we are fighting in Dubai on the 18th.
Ah,
I believe that is what it should be.
okay. One of the first comments was in the chat here on YouTube Live was like, "Hey, why the fuck is it so hard figuring out when this fight is?" And that kind of explains it. So we got a international dateline issue.
Yeah.
But they're not past the international date line, I don't think. Are they?
Who knows?
Ryan?
Well,
I don't know, to be honest.
And do you have to download the app, the Core Sports app? Because I actually spoke to the promoter on a podcast. Idris, was that his name, Brian? Idris.
Don.
Idris, something like that. I don't know about the N.
Idris. Do you know him? Do either of you guys? Have you guys met him? You met him. Cool
not.
dude, right?
You met him, Jacob?
I have not met him. I'm sorry. I talk to him on the phone all the time because I don't have a manager, so it's usually just me
Oh.
talking to Don. Yeah, he's a good guy.
God.
Really
Yeah.
good guy.
Don
Yeah.
Idris, and he basically said that you have to download the Core Sports app, and then you just pay $10 and you can watch all the fights. Do you know that Steffi Cohen doesn't even have anyone to fight yet, and neither does Avril? Well, as of a few days ago when I spoke to Don, they didn't have people to fight. Have you guys heard any updates on that?
I have not gotten an update on that. That was actually so I was kind of starting to realize that they weren't fighting each other because I thought that those two were fighting. And then I saw a couple things where I was like, oh, okay, those two aren't fighting. They're two more fighters on the card. Okay, that makes sense. It made sense because I knew that I'd heard that Avril was a pro fighter and I knew Steffi was not yet. So I was like, man, that's a ballsy move by Steph, which I would definitely see her doing. But yeah, probably, I don't know. Maybe not start your first or your second fight with a pro fighter.
But also, like, their body types are like complete opposites.
Yes.
Which is what I was like. Steffi's obviously shorter, stouter, and then I can't think of her. Is it Avril? I can't think of her name. What is her name?
Yeah, Avril.
Like taller, longer. I was like, man, I would not want to box a pro fighter that's taller and longer than me.
No.
Jacob, is this getting real for you yet? Like, do you feel any like is the fight getting real for you? Like, do you feel it in your body? And the reason why I ask is because I chat with Josh, I don't know, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks. It depends. We have ups and downs. But in the last month,
our love life is definitely gone through some roller coasters.
But in the last month, I would say that he has become more difficult to get a hold of. The conversations are shorter. He's
meaner.
Not meaner, but just he's I could tell he's cutting down on the distractions. Like he's like, it's funneling down, I would say. I haven't spoke to him about it. He could tell me to fuck off. It's not true. But is that
very true?
I just feel like, oh shit, shit's getting real for Josh.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I stopped lifting in general probably she's almost half a month ago, and we literally just do cardio. And
is half a month? Is that a fortnight?
Yeah, fortnight. Yes, correct. A baker's dozen of days or whatever it is. That's total, I guess.
Thank you. Yes.
But that and just hitting the bag and just doing sparring sessions and stuff like that. So it's quite a bit, changed quite a bit. And then, of course, and I know Josh knows this feeling too. The idea where folks will be like, so for instance, my wife is like, hey, we're going to the lake this upcoming weekend with a bunch of our friends. And I'm like, no, you're going by yourself. Like, I'm not going with you to the lake. And they're like, oh no, we'll bring sparring gear. You can like punch each other. I'm like, that's not how that works. Like, I'm not going to get on a lily pad and hit you guys with mitts. Like, so,
if you wanted to do that, you could have gone down to the Wadapalooza filming with Hopper, Medeiros, and Fraser.
They were wrestling. There was no hands thrown. But yeah, it's a lot of cutting back on a lot of things. Hey, if this isn't going to help me a month from now or a couple weeks from now, then why am I doing it? To be honest, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I mean, I think we obviously Jacob has gotten to the level in CrossFit where you know that he knows what he's doing. He's a professional athlete. You know, I mean,
when you say the level, you mean Brian's top 40 list of all time, or is that what you mean by
sure.
it?
I was he on Brian's top 40? I mean, I wanted to have some discussion about this.
He was
my placement, even though I did appreciate being in the top 10.
Oh, you in the top 10? What are you complaining about?
I got a lot of complaints. All right, Jacob, you know, it's my life. Let me be me, man. But no, I appreciated that, Brian. Actually, I did appreciate it. I didn't like how you defended Vellner's his shortcomings when he had shortcomings in the games, but because all of us have our shortcomings when we had ours. But you defended Patrick Vellner like he was your significant other, and that's okay.
Ooh.
I'll let it go.
Ooh.
No, you're. But just so you know, yes, I have you at 10, and Heppner was right around 20, so they're both well up there. On
No,
the list.
I watched the whole video, and I enjoyed your explanation of stuff. I just very much noticed your deep love and admiration of Patrick Vellner.
I think in general people are really critical of him and Fikowski for their last 2 years at the games, and injuries is one thing, and there's a ton of athletes that have these ups and downs in their career because of injury. I think in those 2 seasons, for those 2 guys in particular, and this year kind of solidifies this point, is that the structure of the games just for whatever reason didn't work for them those 2 years. But it doesn't mean that I don't believe Fikowski was 23rd best in the world that year, that he finished 23rd. He just those tests didn't work out well for him. And the system didn't allow for him to make up for a bad performance early in the weekend that year.
Is that what you have a problem with, Josh? That kind of shit?
A little bit, because in the end, we all have we all have the same test laid out in front of us, and be that as may, it didn't work out for Brent that year. It is what it is, right? Like, you have to be, that's CrossFit, right? You have to be ready for everything. And my final 2 years, I have plenty of excuses written down why I took 30th and 31st place. So I just. But again, I thought your list was very accurate, to be honest. Like, I thought it was really well done and like well thought out, and appreciated it. Like, I was like, this guy actually took some time and actually like dove pretty deep into whether it was event wins or year by year breakdown, all of it, and it was really well thought out. So I'm just giving you shit saying, but I really
a lot of people give me shit for being too close to Vellner, I guess. But guy's really fucking good also.
Yeah.
Man, Jacob's doing some cool. Jacob was just looked like he was taking notes on what you were saying, then took a break to bite his nail. Now he's taking a sip of his coffee. I like listening to you and watching Jacob. This is a nice mix. Okay, so go back to what you were saying, Josh, when I interrupted you and I brought Brian into the conversation. You're saying that Jacob's basically worked hard. He obviously is a top-notch competitor. We've seen what he's done in CrossFit.
And so realizing, obviously he's going to realize that what he needs to do to fine tune the last few weeks before he goes into an event like this. So
yeah, it'd be different if both of us had never been to the games for very many years. It'd be a different type of mindset or whatever we've done, but we've both done what we've done for very many years and done well at it for obvious reasons, right? We know how to, to be quite honest, like, to say no to a lot of things requires a support team around you that is willing to accept no. A lot of guys I know that I've competed with didn't have the significant others or the team around them that could take a no. Like my wife, and I'm sure Josh has significant others that can hear, no, I'm not doing that. And they're okay with that. Like, yep, that's right. That's who Josh is, because Josh has to focus on going to games for his last time or doing this boxing match or whatever the case may be. And that takes a good support team to be able to take that no and kind of roll with it.
Or else if they don't accept your no, they got to get kicked to the curb.
Yeah, I'm just not going. I'm not going to the leg. So you either accept it or not. Like, I don't know.
So someone here says that they'd pay money to see Froning and Matt Fraser fight. No shit. No shit.
Right. Who wouldn't?
I'd gladly step out of the ring and be like, go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
I will pay to watch this.
I will watch this.
Jacob, have you thought about your next fight after this fight?
Yeah, probably with my wife when we come back from the lake. I don't know. Dude, in my mind, like, when this was offered to me, when Coop first called me, I didn't know who he was. He called me. He was like, I got a phone call, and he's like, yo, we want you to box Bridges. I'm like, dude, get out of here. Who the crap are you? Like, shut up. I'm not listening to you. Who are you?
This is a fake call.
Yeah, and anyways, it was real. But, in my mind, it was really cool to take an opportunity that was outside of my space. It's been very enjoyable to learn something that's outside of my realm. I've said this before, but I think my hope is that other athletes in our space, males or females, realize that your fitness isn't defined by four walls and what you do. Your Fran time doesn't make you fit. Like, go try something that's a sport, that's a legit sport, and go see how well it transfers. Like, it's been very enjoyable to do that. And now, saying that, I don't think I'd take a second fight unless it was monetarily worth my time. It is a humongous time suck, not in a bad way, but it has been enjoyable to learn it, but it is a humongous time constraint, for sure.
And I'm assuming for both of you that it can't be nonchalant for two reasons. One, it's not in your personality to do anything half-assed, but also this isn't a celebrity softball game. Like, you're going in there to put the other person to sleep, right? You in an ideal situation, you guys would walk out there, throw three punches, and Josh or Jake would be on their back, and you'd be like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, there is,
as opposed to the other where you're on your back asleep.
Yeah, like it's too, it's too much of a combat sports is just so different, right? Like, you can't take anything for granted because it's too real. It's not a game. Like they always say, right? It's so cliche or whatever, but you don't play boxing, right? We're literally punching each other in the face and trying to knock the other person out. Like, that's the sport. And again, like you just said, I don't think Heppner and I, or either of us, are going to take that lightly. And if you are, it's going to be a bad day, right? And so we both know that. We're both not doing it. We're both putting in extreme amount of work in the gym, in recovery, and like you said, just removing distractions, which means not as much time with your loved ones or your friends and things like that. So,
I mean, if you go back and watch what we've done in the years past, you never really saw us. We weren't the kind of guy that, sure, like Josh and I would probably have some good jokes and make some good times, but when it was time to compete and it was 3-2-1, it was time to work, and that's what we're going to do here. Like, we're not doing this because it's, a benefit for a charity. And, to be honest, we're making the same amount of money, win, lose, or draw. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to take a draw. The same for Josh.
No.
Like, we're here to win. And that's what we've done for years past, whether it was CrossFit or anything we did in life.
Well, the truth is also that if it does be a good show, if one of you knocks the other one out, or if it were a close fight, or if there was something, spectacular, there's going to be people who are going to want to see at least one of you fight again. That is the truth. Like,
or each other again if it's a
right,
draw.
or each other again. You're right.
Right.
How many rounds is the fight?
6.
6-3.
Yeah, absolutely. When you see these guys who are also, I'm trying to change the subject here, but when you see these guys like the fight last night, who are taking this shit really seriously, like Jake Paul is taking this as serious as a heart attack. What do you think about their level of fitness lasting, Jake? And I mean, Woodley, obviously. I mean, he has so much combat experience, it's crazy. But is that a concern for you guys? Like 6 3-minute rounds?
I mean, of course it's a concern, right? Like, but like, that's what we've been training for. It's what we've been, obviously I'm sure what Jacob's coach knows what he's doing, and my coaches know what they're doing, and they're getting me ready and they're getting me prepared for 18 minutes of fighting, right? No matter what. And hopefully, actually, to be honest, they're getting me ready for 24 minutes of fighting, because it's going to probably feel like 30 minutes of fighting. So, yeah, I mean, watching last night's fight, that was the first thing I noticed about Jake Paul. But Jake Paul's not a CrossFit athlete. Jake Paul hasn't been to the CrossFit Games. He's never seen adversity. He's actually only fought. He never made it past the second round, right, until last night. And so I did notice that he was gassed pretty early. My thoughts on that fight were that Woodley, if that was a street fight, Woodley won the fight. If it's a boxing match, Jake Paul won the fight because he out-jabbed him. Really is all he did. And if Woodley would have thrown his jab a few more times, he would have won that fight.
I also think that if Jake Paul was, and I think both of them did a great job. I mean,
It was entertaining, super entertaining.
I think if Jake Paul were 4 inches shorter, Tyrone Woodley would have fucking destroyed him. And it makes me feel like size is a really, really big factor. I think we saw it in the Mayweather-Logan Paul, and now we've seen it in this. What do you think?
Yeah,
I mean, like a huge factor.
I didn't realize how much of a factor it would be until just kind of like I hear my coaches saying it. Like they were very worried about Jacob's weight, very worried. Like they kept being like, "You got to get him to come down. You got to get him to come out." And I kept telling them, like, "Listen, at the end of the day, we're gonna on September 18th. He's gonna step on the scale, and I'm gonna step on the scale, and then we're gonna step into a ring. So it doesn't really matter."
Look at even Manny Pacquiao, the guy he fought.
Yeah.
Like Manny, in my opinion, that was a bad deal for Manny. That guy was too big. Manny needs to be fighting people 10 pounds lighter than that. Anyway, sorry. So go ahead.
Manny Pacquiao's also 42 years old. I mean, that was.
Isn't that how old you are?
55. I'm 52.
Oh, 52, right?
Yeah, don't worry.
I've had a couple sparring matches going back to your conditioning question. I had a couple of sparring matches, and at the end of it, a lot of guys would come up to me because that's the beauty of the sport, right? And I'm sure I've never done a combat sport like wrestling, and I'm sure Josh can attest to this. But what I do love about it is at the end of it, you can hug and be buddies, assuming no one cheap shotted you and it's a good match, right? But that's what I've really enjoyed about the idea is I can hit you in the face, and at the end of it, we can go out and have a coffee if you really freaking want to. But when we got done with it, a couple of the guys had come up to me and been like, "Man, you're in really good shape. Like, that's going to be such a huge pivotal thing in the fight." And I was like, "You don't understand. Like, if we are both in good shape, it's null and void. It's really not going to matter." Like, people don't understand because they look at me and think, "Well, you've been boxing for like 5 months barely, like, you're in great shape. Yeah, it's because of what I did before this that really allowed me to do that. And it's not like Josh is sitting around not conditioning. Like, we're going to both have the same amount of conditioning when you step into that ring.
What is the weight you guys are fighting at?
Whatever we weigh that day.
Yeah.
So there's no weight set yet.
No.
Doesn't sound
They
like it's
actually-
going to be.
I honestly, like, when Coop first called me and I signed the contract, I've never done something like this. So I didn't know how this worked. And there was never a weight concern in the contract until we got past it. And they were like, hey, Jake, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, it's on the CrossFit Games website. I'm like 200 pounds. And then I quickly realized, I was like, wait, how have I never really thought of Josh, like how, look at your competitors in CrossFit space and be like, oh, Josh is 5
Right.
whatever and weighs 175. You don't think about those things. Instead, it's like, how much can Josh snatch or how much can this person clean? And so I didn't really know my competitor's weight until later. And I'm like, oh, that was like 30 pounds or 30, 40 pounds. So, but we've steadily just lost weight just because, like Josh knows, it's a freaking sweat fest where you change your clothes and we're not lifting weights anymore. There's no purpose of me lifting weights. Like, I don't need to have strong legs. I need to be fast. And that's not.
It's been really.
A lot of muscle.
How crazy is it? How much, like, I feel so much faster and looser. It's insane. It really is. It's like, wow, I'm not stiff all the time. It's so nice.
I feel healthy. It feels nice to be like, I feel healthy. It's like, this is what healthy feels like. Like, I mean,
Right.
for CrossFit, like, you pack on weight. You're doing repetitive motions over and over again. Now, I'm sure if you and I, like, boxed for 3 years, our shoulders would probably be wrecked. Like, I get that.
Right.
But it is nice
faces will be
feeling
wrecked.
healthy. Yeah, or a nose is broken. Yeah, one of the two.
Fucking, my face conditioning every day that I do. It's really fun.
Josh, have you really? Jacob said he's basically hasn't the last. What'd you say? 2 weeks. You basically just stop working out unless it's like directly related to.
Stop lifting weights.
Stop lifting weights.
Yeah, like I'll jump on a row or a runner or whatever.
How about wall balls?
I haven't done wall balls in forever, just because.
How about pull-ups? How about calisthenics, pull-ups, push-ups, air squats?
Yeah, I will do
yeah.
some of that. I've got a teenage girl that still is like getting ready for like Wadapalooza qualifiers, so I'll do stuff of that with her. But
Not
if it's
just a teenage girl.
the teenage girl.
The
But
teenage
if we're
girl.
snatching, cleaning, squatting, deadlifting, anything with a barbell that's heavy, I'm not touching it. It's not going to be any good. That's the point.
I've done some very light lifting, very light, like just to kind of almost just keep it was almost mentally. I needed to do it a little bit of mentally, right? Like I squatted a little bit, but it was like very light, very low volume.
Just like for a photo shoot, pretty much.
Right. I'm gonna take a picture of this, put it on the gram, and say, "Hey, look, I still squat."
Look, I dropped Josh dropped his shorts today. He's got a barbell on his back, and he's like, "Still squat, guys." That was 2 months ago.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Josh, are you wearing those new shorts on at the event, or do you have like boxing shorts?
No, boxing shorts.
Oh, those new shorts are dope, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's cool. It's cool. They flip up and they flip
Yeah.
up in the inside. That's cool.
That's
Yeah,
the only
that
part
was-
that I thought was stupid, but other than that, I thought they were cool.
They're phenomenal. We've been waiting on those shorts. We were told that those shorts were going to be in like March.
COVID?
Yeah, I guess COVID stuff, but yeah, like so I've had them forever, and I've been just like,
Oh, all the shorts got contaminated?
No, they didn't get.
Oh, you hate
Yeah.
me. That's for all the mom comments, buddy. That's for all the mom
I
comments.
love it, man. I love it. No, but they finally literally got in today, and I was stoked, man. We've been working on those forever. Those shorts they're great shorts, and I was gonna send you a pair, Sevan, but now I'm gonna go ahead and scratch that off the list, pal. But Jacob, I'll send Jacob a pair, Miss
Yeah,
Brian's
there you go,
pair.
there you
You
go.
know,
Hey, are they
you,
doing-
Sevan.
Cooper actually messaged me today. They're doing our shorts. Yeah. You're having them do your shorts for the boxing match.
They're gonna no, I'm not.
You got
But
someone else
Coop,
doing them.
I had someone else doing it, but Coop did say that someone could do them for me over there.
Okay. What color are you
So-
doing your shorts?
I'm still debating on the color.
Okay.
but
You want me
I'm
to tell you
going-
mine? You
Are
can't do
yours?
mine.
Yeah, no, yeah. Tell me yours, so we're not the same
I'm
color.
black. I think I'm black on black.
Okay, nice.
on black.
I think I'm going more towards like a red, white, and blue. I probably.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good concept. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm American.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm going way out there with a red, white, and blue look.
You gonna have the frills on them too? On the
Oh,
bottom?
definitely big frill guy. Big frill guy. I got a lot of. I got a lot of flair on mine. I got like 13 pieces of flair. You know, how many pieces of flair do you got on your boxing shorts?
Josh, you know
Not
that
as many as yours.
you know that move Adrian Broner does, like if he spins someone around and then he pretends like he's like hammering him doggy style. Have you seen that? You know the boxer Adrian
I've seen that
Broner?
video. Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah.
Would you do that to Heppner if he turns his back to you? No.
No, I like Jacob too much. If it was your mom though.
Jesus
Hey,
Christ!
in a sparring match, have you turned your back on someone on accident yet? I've done that a few times. Just,
Bro.
I don't know the rule.
I'll be like tripping over my own feet and like falling over. I'm like, oh, hold on. You know, like I'm losing my balance. Yeah, it's bad. But luckily, I have really good sparring partners who don't take advantage and like knock me out at that moment. So I think Jacob's frozen.
Did he freeze?
Yeah.
Oh, he looks good like that. I heard his echo coming in and out. Oh, probably the strip club's probably rebooting their Wi-Fi.
That midday reboot.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Shift
Thank
change.
you. Ryan put a picture of the shorts up on the feed. Yeah, those are really nice. What's the emblem there? That's
Thanks,
the
That's Josh Bridges. That's like my logo.
Okay, yeah, it's dope. Yeah, those are dope. I can't wait to get a pair.
You can buy them online. Most sizes are still available, I think.
That's right, Brian. That's right.
How do you do that? So you have an agent or a manager, and they're like, "Hey, let's make some workout shorts and sell them." And
Yeah, so
that?
Coop-
Or you
Coop-
have a favorite pair of shorts, and you're like, "Dude, let's put my name on these. I love these."
So Coop was the guy who kind of initiated that, you know, and he was the one who got my he got my logo kind of done. We started working on that process a while back when we were working on the website, and I really like that logo. Once my Nike contract kind of ran out for clothing, I'm still with Nike technically for shoes, but with clothing I no longer have a sponsor. It was like, well, why don't I just go get my own pair of shorts made and put my logo on it, and if people want to buy it, cool. If not, you know, I still got my own pair of shorts that I get to wear that I love. So, yeah.
Oh, the live feed looks cool right now. I don't know how you did that, Ryan, but we all look like we're a magnifying glass. Ah, there we go. You know what I did, Josh? See that shirt that Brian's wearing? Basically, someone sent me, because we were doing the Josh Matt and Sevan podcast, someone sent me a shirt, and it was a picture of a goat on it, you know, greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, I fucking love this shirt. This shirt feels great. But it should have my logo on it. So Matt Souza just called those guys and was like, hey, will you print shirts for us? He loves your shirt, but take your fucking logo off and put his on. They're like, sure, no problem.
There it is. That's pretty much how clothing works, I feel like, these days. It's like, I like these, so make these adjustments, and boom, there it is.
Yep. Do you have anything you pedal, Heppner? Do you have any wares that you pedal that help you put gas in your car?
I mean, I don't have any product companies where I sell a tangible product per se. I have online.
He sells his knowledge.
Yeah, I sell my brain, but no, I don't sell any tangible products like that, like Josh does. That requires a whole like solid team that you trust, and it's not something I have right now. So,
wow, I almost feel like that was a little bit challenging what Jacob said. Like he was like,
no, I don't think it was challenging. I think it is. You have to fucking like. I could not do that on my own whatsoever.
Right.
Like I'm not even gonna try to pretend like I could. Like I'm very thankful of Coop and my team. There's another guy, young guy, Jake, who crushes it as well. Helps with the marketing, helps with the distribution. I mean, all that. I mean, it's marketing, distribution, it's all that stuff. Like
it's a lot of pieces.
There's so many different pieces, and finding the material, finding the person to make it, finding the person to print on it. You know, all that stuff. Like it's not something I even have time for.
Yeah.
You're too busy loading the donkeys up with coffee.
Damn right I am. Damn right.
I know how that works. Hey, did you see? I'm sure you guys saw that guy Devin Laratt stepped in to fight Thor.
Yep.
How crazy is that?
I was so impressed that they were able to find a man willing to step into the ring with Thor, because that in itself is insanely like there cannot be that many people who would be willing or even would be a fit to get in that ring with him.
Yeah, who it's even safe for.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. So like for that guy,
we talked to BKG and he's like, dude, the Thor is lethal right now. Like I would be scared for my life fighting that guy.
Someone was telling me, I can't remember who it was. I think it was
Ryan, can we see some footage of him boxing?
Someone was telling me that he can hold 700 watts on an assault bike for 7 minutes.
What?
7 minutes. Hold 700 watts for 7 minutes. You're
Is
like,
that true? Do you think that's true?
I think it is. Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't be able to. That's crazy though.
Dude,
That's
and
nuts.
does the guy who subbed in for Eddie, he has a previous background in MMA. I mean, I'm not one to judge. I have no big background in anything, but he's not just stepping in with a month to train, right? Like with nothing.
I think he is. Yeah, I don't think he has any sort of striking background.
He's a professional arm wrestler. He's basically a power lifter. He's basically a dude who just for the last, I mean, he comes from special forces in Canada. I mean, and so like the guy can work out. He can move. But the last few years of his life since he's retired from special forces has been just one arm.
I mean, if
How-
you couldn't pay me enough to do that for that, and let's just take that off the table. If you were like, Jacob will give you a month to do this with Bridges, I still wouldn't take that. You couldn't pay me enough for that. Like,
Yeah,
let alone with a mountain. Like,
Right.
no way.
A month is a short period of time, man. Like there is not a lot you can learn in a month. But yeah,
Hey,
how
Well,
big
it's funny that you say that because a lot of the games athletes seem to have the opposite mentality when it comes to, they qualify for the games, there's an announcement of workout, and boom, okay, I'm going to learn this thing in 3 weeks. And I always think it's crazy. I'm with you
but
on
everyone's at the same. But everyone typically is on the same playing field, where this is not.
Maybe.
Right? Like Thor's
There's
been training
one person who knows how to kayak, and the other 40,
Yeah.
and the other
for the most
79
part,
have
right?
to
It's-
learn. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like for the most part, it's like everyone's on the same playing field with the games. That's
Right.
like, and you're using your athletic ability and your fitness to like what us games athletes and these games athletes do typically. If you translate it into those worlds, like we're not doing anything impressive by any means. Like we're very mediocre, below average, and so, but we do all of them really well if you combine it. So, that's the difference. But you tell someone, hey, you got to get into a boxing ring and fight somebody in a month, and you've no idea what you're doing.
Dude, what would your coach teach you in a month? I wouldn't even teach you like defense. I'd be like, hey man,
Right.
we're just gonna throw,
You're
man.
gonna haymakers.
Ryan, can we actually see the Thor actually throwing some punches? Maybe.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get the camera situated. I wanted to show context to the viewers. Like everyone knows who Alex Smith is. Sorry.
Word. I just want to see. The footage I've seen of Thor throwing punches is he is moving extremely slow though. Like
He's so big, he's gonna have to. But both of those guys are gonna be slow.
Yeah, maybe slow isn't the right word. He's telegraphing. Like you can see what's going on. It's like fighting a tree.
But he's also 6'9". How could you not see it? Right? I mean, his. I wonder what his reach is.
Do you think that you and Heppner together could whoop Thor's ass?
No.
That's funny. At dinner last night, that was actually a topic of discussion at dinner last night with my wife. She was like, if you and Josh got in a ring with half Thor, could you win? I'm like, no. He would just pick on one. Like he'd be like, I'm gonna corner Heppner, take hits from Josh behind me, knock Heppner out, and then turn around and knock Josh out.
I don't think we could do enough damage to him. Unless we could do shit that we were not allowed to do. You know what I mean?
You can.
Like trip him. Like me run up and get on my hands and knees and Jacob come up and push him over me, kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, can you guys see the YouTube channel? Ryan was just showing us footage of Thor punching. He's actually not slow. It really is just that he's so big and the punches are coming from so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, last night, did you see that? Like that fight, Jake Paul kept the fight at his distance. Like Woodley needed to fight way closer. Didn't you think that the whole fight? Like, holy shit, they're fighting Jake Paul's fight.
Yeah, I thought Woodley would get in a little more distance, but I just thought like Woodley fought like a fighter, and he kept trying to just land his power shots, which he did. He landed a lot of them. He landed more than Paul, and he just didn't use his jab. He didn't box. He wasn't boxing. He was fighting. And that's his world. And so when you get tired, what do? You go back to what your brain has trained you to do. Woodley has been doing that. I remember going to a bar. This is how old, like Woodley's Woodley's from St. Louis, Missouri, or St. Louis. He went to McClure High School or McClure North, one of them. And he wrestled my brother in high school. Beat him. Both. My brother was a state champ his senior year, but Woodley was a 2-time state champ. Anyways, he graduates, goes to
Who
Mizzou.
won? Who won? Woodley or your brother?
Woodley won. It was at just like a random tournament, I think, or it was a tournament. But anyways, so Woodley graduates. He goes on, wrestles at Mizzou. And then I remember being at a bar in like South County, and they had a cage in there, and Woodley was fighting on it, like on that, like, and so I mean that was probably 2005, 2006, 15 years ago.
Crazy.
I mean, it's nuts. And now, he's still boxing on main events. It's impressive. To be honest.
How much did they make?
I have no idea. I haven't heard. Have you heard, Sevan?
I heard it was 4 times as much he'd ever made in a UFC championship fight. I'm guessing, which makes me think he made probably, I don't know, somewhere between 250 and 500,000 in his championship fights with the UFC. So I'm guessing he made $1 million in this fight. I'd heard the number 500,000 for this fight for him. I'm guessing that there's some tie-in with the pay-per-view.
I'm gonna assume that too. Like I'm gonna assume that might be like his guarantee is probably like 500 and then pay-per-view points or something.
I did think it was crazy that Jake Paul agreed to fighting him again. Like I feel like Tyrone Woodley won the mental game at the end there. Like he fucked Jake Paul up with that stunt he pulled.
It was good. It was a good play for him.
For Tyrone, totally, right? Totally
Yeah.
great play. He knew, great. If I can get one more paycheck out of this and do one more fight, that'd be awesome. And Jake Paul should not fight him again.
No, I think it would be bad for Jake Paul if he fought him again because I think that Woodley's a fighter. And I think I was impressed by Paul's the fact that he was really, really tired and he continued to fight and didn't get knocked out. I was actually really impressed by that because I thought he was going down for sure. Once back up for a second, he did get knocked down, and I don't know why they didn't score that a knockdown.
You mean when he went into the ropes?
When he went into the ropes, because the ropes, the only thing that kept him up was the ropes, which is considered a knockdown. They should have called that. I thought it looked like a knockdown personally. What do I know though? But I thought he was going to go down because he was getting gassed for sure. So I was impressed that he actually stayed on his feet.
Jacob, did you not watch the fight?
No. I think I was watching The Bachelorette last night. I don't know.
Wait, are you not watching fighting? Are you not watching boxing? Did you watch UFC the night before?
No. I mean, I watch amateur boxing matches, but I'm not gonna watch professional boxing. That's a whole different ball game. They're pulling stunts that.
That wasn't professional last night.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
I mean, it is. I guess it was a pro fight. Jake has a pro card. I don't know if Woodley does.
So why aren't you watching why aren't you watching boxing?
No, I didn't say I wasn't watching boxing. I said I wasn't watching professional fights.
How come? And tell me why? Because it's so different than the style of fight that you and Josh are going to have that you don't think it
Yeah, I would assume that. Like,
I think you might be right by that assumption.
yeah, like I'm not pulling half the stuff they've got going on. So
Hey, you're looking good, man. Those videos you're posting, you're definitely looking a lot smoother and cleaner.
we're coming along. It's connected the past couple months really well. So that's been
Yeah.
good. But the first couple months is just like, what
You
the
don't know-
hell? What
dude,
the hell are you
feel-
doing?
And then when you're doing it, you think you're doing it, and you're not doing it. And you watch it,
Well,
you're like, I wasn't doing shit they were saying.
That's the worst thing is when they
Yeah.
film it and they show you later and they're like, you think you look great, and then you watch your film and you're like, God, I suck so
Yeah.
bad. Like, why? You go,
What? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? They'll tell you like jab, 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 and you'll think you're jabbing, and then you go back and watch the tape, and you're not jabbing.
No,
Or
not
it's-
jabbing.
your
but-
hands are low, or hey, you're slow, or
You're
whatever the case is.
You're not using your hips, like shit like that. You're like, yes, I am using my hips. And you like watch, like, oh shit, I'm not using my hips at all.
No, that's the hardest part. Is like, I think one thing I've realized, the biggest gap in CrossFit is we do not rotate at all. We
At
have
all.
no rotational power. And
More
that has been
lateral
a-
movement.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Okay.
but
Both.
both things. Lateral
Yeah.
without rotating the torso, or just torso rotation in general.
Yeah, the
Both are not really
rotational shit is big. Luckily, I mean,
Ugh.
I grew up playing baseball, so I have some rotational. I did have some sport in rotate, like throwing and swinging a bat. but it's different. It's very different. But yeah, like I agree, man. Like CrossFit has zero rotational application.
Yeah, so I spend my whole waking time learning rotation on slam balls, which is like the worst way to learn. Like, stupid.
You mean basically you hold it in front of your hand, then you turn and bounce it off the wall?
The wall, the floor, whatever
Yeah.
you got that you can throw it against.
What should CrossFit do to fix that? What do you think that they should do? What movement should be put in there?
I mean, the sledge stuff is the only stuff they have ever had. You know,
Were you there the year they did the? Okay, dang.
11 was my first year. That was like
Okay,
8, I believe.
okay, 8 or 9. Yeah.
8 or 9 when they did the sledge with the spike. I think it was
Yep.
8.
I think it was 2009 because 8 was the every second counts year. There were much fewer
Oh, you're
events
right.
that
You're
year.
right. Yeah, it was 9. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
And Nicole Gordon hit her finger with the sledgehammer, went to the hospital, got it sewed up, and came back and finished the games. That was pretty gnarly.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was part of that first day that was maybe or for a long time was considered the most difficult day in the CrossFit Games history.
Oh, I
Hey.
remember that. Yeah.
And do you remember how people will complain about different spots on the field where the sled is either easier to push or harder to push?
I heard that
Well,
spike was like ridiculous. Like some people would hit it once, it would go like it would just like sink, and then
Yeah,
other people
yeah.
would hit it and it was like not moving at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard
I
that
don't-
story. Yeah, I've heard that story where it was like people were hitting it once and it literally would just like disappear, and then other people would hit it and wouldn't budge.
Well, did you have a good lane in 20? What year was it that Neil Maddox destroyed us
Oh.
at the sled push?
Dude, that
Stupid.
was
Stupid
that was a dump.
15?
So that was 14.
14.
Yeah. I remember watching. I'm sitting there. Yeah, because they had us out on the field, right? And you're watching. And you're like, everyone in this lane is crushing it, crushing it. And then like you'd see some lanes where people are like getting just stuck, just stopped, like it's in cement. You know, you're like, what the wet cement? You know, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
I remember watching Lucas Parker try to push it, and I'm like, I'm not better than Lucas Parker at a sled, but that boy's struggling, and I'm like, this is not well thought out.
No,
None
yeah.
of this stuff that these guys are saying is true, by the way. To all the listeners out there, none of this bullshit is true. Dave does not. Every event at the CrossFit Games has always been 100% fair, pre-planned, and every detail has been worked out. These are just what you're hearing as professional complainers.
Just crybabies. We're just crybabies. It's okay.
When do you go to Dubai, Josh? When do you go, Jacob?
I don't have my flight yet, to be honest.
I
was
talked
told
to
the
Dawn.
9th.
I heard the 9th, the 10th. I talked to Dawn yesterday. I think we all might be on the same flight out of like Houston together.
Yeah, that's what I've heard that too. But I haven't gotten flight information.
Me neither. So
First class?
Better fucking be.
Yeah, good.
Not first class. I think business class.
It's
which
a
is
long
different.
flight.
Yeah.
Flight.
Emirates business class. I'm assuming you're going Emirates.
I have no idea. Like I said, I,
I,
have
be-
no,
I believe so.
Yeah,
Pretty
I mean,
much the only option. Yeah.
and
Can't drive.
pretty much every seat on that plane is good, but business class is crazy good.
I mean,
and then,
it's not.
and then-
no, in the back of the plane, it's just a normal plane.
oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, you can get packed in there pretty tight. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Brian's like, hold on.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was not on a business class flight.
Sorry to hear that. And then so you'll be there a week before, and do you guys have to do a bunch of promo stuff, or is it just that week before is just basically just to get situated and get ready?
Jacob, you talk to Don. I don't
Yeah,
hear these things.
I know there's. I'm Josh's manager. Yeah, there's going to be some promo stuff for sure, but I think what's probably going to happen is they'll have all the equipment we're probably going to need there. I'm sure what'll happen is probably very similar to what happens at the CrossFit Games. I'm sure Josh and I will decide what time we each want to go into a ring or an area or a workout area we have. We're not going to be at the same time, right? Makes sense. And we'll probably share that with everyone else going in there. Of course, I don't care if I'm in the same time in this half Thor. I'll just watch him like a creeper
Right, yeah.
from the corner.
Yeah.
But we'll probably do some promo stuff. I know we're going to do some. I think we both of us are leaving like the day after, pretty soon thereafter. So I'm hoping we get some stuff to go see some things in Dubai. Like at least spend it. I mean, you can't box the whole day and do promo stuff the whole day. So
Wait a second. You leave the day after your fight?
it's like a day or 2 days after. It's pretty quickly.
What if you're
Yeah,
fucked up like Pacquiao was? Did you see Pacquiao after the fight? The day
Those guys
after
are
the
what-
fight?
So there's a reason why we're wearing 16-ounce gloves. But you're right. We could be very much.
What
so.
were their glove weight, Josh?
Pro
Was it-
boxers wear 8.
Oh God, no, man.
Crazy.
No way. That's
Dude, like,
I mean, that's fast.
I put on an A's glove, and I'm like, oh my God, these are like, it's like nothing, and they get hit 800, 500 times in a match.
Is that what they were wearing last night? 8-ounce gloves, Jake Paul and.
I didn't see. I actually wanted to see that. If it was considered a pro fight, I believe they have to be at their weight class. Don't quote me on it. I think so. I know after a certain weight, I think they do go up to 10-ounce gloves. I can't remember. I don't know what that weight class is though.
Yeah, look at these pictures of Pacquiao. I mean, the day after that fight, they showed Pacquiao basically was sitting on a table and his wife was feeding him like cereal and shit.
Dude,
He
it's real,
looked
man.
fucked up.
It's real.
I mean, if that's me, I'm gonna sit on that plane and I'm just gonna be like, give me some melatonin and someone feed me that crap food.
Right. Business class, man. I don't know. I'm gonna guess it. I've been on business class a few times because of like Nike. Whenever they flew you to overseas or whatever, they put you on business class. Dude, the food in business class isn't bad.
Real silverware.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
You can lay all the way down. Even if you're in a bad state, you might be comfortable in business class.
Yeah.
Who are you going with, Josh? Do you get to take anyone?
Yeah, my coaches. Both my coaches are going. Ian in Berlin, and then Coop and Jason are going.
Holy shit! And Josh,
Entourage.
Josh, are you taking coaches? Sorry, Jacob, are you taking coaches?
Yep, I got a coach, and then I got my wife who's just gonna scream at me. She actually asked me the other day. She actually asked me a good question. She goes, "What do I wear to a fight?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've never been to a fight. I don't know what you wear in the corner." Like, I don't know.
Is she going to be in your corner? Is she going to be in your corner?
No. She'll be in the wherever. I don't know what we're fighting at. I don't know the details for that. She'll be there, but she's not going to be in my. She's not a round girl, so.
And man, this could be really intense for her.
Yeah, I know that. So she may or may not like it. We'll find out.
Yeah, she's gonna hate Josh.
After we're done, I'll be like, you got to go give him a hug. You got to go. Yeah, you got to give him a hug. I actually haven't. It's probably a disservice I've done. I need to have her come to a sparring match. It's not the same thing as a fight, right? We're in headgear, but I at least need her to see that because she has not seen that side of. I mean, that's a side of a person that you don't normally see. That's tough.
It's different. Like I remember my mom growing up, like hated watching her. Like she didn't hate watching us wrestling. She just stressed out. But like, yeah, it's different. It's different when you're literally just you and another person.
I mean,
Jacob.
Go ahead. Go Sevan.
I know Josh well enough to tell you that anything he says to you within 3 hours after the fight is totally. If it's nice, it's so fake. It is so fucking fake. If he says to you "good fight" or "good job" or "that was fun" or anything like that, it's fake as fuck. I promise you.
Is that true? Regardless as if Josh wins or loses.
Either. He's not. He doesn't. It's not. He can't just turn it off like that. Once he turns it on, it's gonna be like. It's not gonna. He can't just land that plane.
I don't know.
I
feel like if he won the fight, that he'd be like, "Yeah, good fight," and he'd be like, "Yeah, good try, buddy."
No, even if he wins the fight, he's gonna be like, "I should have fucking punched him in the throat 2 more times on the way down." I'm telling you, he's a good dude. He's not a nice guy. He's a good dude.
Definitely not a nice guy.
How about you, Jacob? Do you think that it's gonna be pretty so intense that it's gonna be like take a while to come down from that one?
That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest. I think it'll be tough, but it's not like we get done from the fight and they shove us in a room and expect us to hang out, right? So
right, start playing Yahtzee.
Yeah, we're not, and so we're not on the same flight back either. So they're not going to put us in the same plane because who knows what would happen in that plane, that business class area, But I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't had experience in a combat sport per se, like wrestling, where we have to be. I mean, the difference is though, and Josh can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Josh has actually wrestled someone he actually knew in a previous sport and then wrestled him afterwards. It's probably always been, I don't know this guy. I'm gonna go out and take his head off. I don't know him beforehand. Like you weren't really required. Not that we're required, but where he wasn't really required to be courteous to this guy afterwards because
when he was on the teams, those guys would wrestle. I mean, it was a little more informal.
Yeah, different. It's very different. It's different. In the end, man, like we're going out there. It's a sport. Like I don't hate Jacob. I don't dislike him at all. I think he's a good dude. And when we're done fighting, I'll be just fine. I'll be hard on myself. I'll be critical of myself and my performance. I know I will be. It's just who I am as a person. But I won't take it out on Jacob.
How unusual is this for the two guys that are going into the ring together to have a conversation like this a couple weeks before it?
How unusual is it?
Like, does this ever happen?
I'm sure there's MMA fights that are pretty like relaxed. I feel like there's some really good that Stephen Wonderboy what's his Thompson. That guy's like the nicest guy ever. But then when he's in the ring, man, he's fucking killer.
But they will put fighters so they put Jake Paul and Woodley at a table 3 days before the fight or 2 days before the fight, just 3 feet away from each other, facing each other. This is still 3 weeks out. I guarantee that this conversation will be a little bit different if it was 24 hours out and we were all sitting at the same table together.
I don't know. Maybe.
Huh.
It will be. It probably will be to a degree. But Josh is right. After we're done, I think like I've said before, I think it's going to be good for the sport. It's gonna be good for all the male athletes in our sport that are too scared of doing something outside of their realm of capabilities. You're capable. Go do it. Go do something different. Try it.
Do something that scares you every day, right? Test yourself. Go out and test yourself and go, be vulnerable. Be willing to fail at something or willing to just give it a shot, man. And that's been my motto for my life is what do I got to fucking lose, right? If I go and I go fail, okay, I go fail. People are gonna be like, oh, you lost, you did this. Who gives a shit what somebody says? They were too scared to get in the ring anyways. So for me,
exactly.
I'm going out to test what I've trained to do for the past, I guess, yearish, but really training for a fight, I guess 6 months. For about 6 months, it was just doing it to learn to be in shape. Actually, it was almost just for conditioning. But yeah, it's just fuck it, let's go do it. Let's go compete, man. I love competing. Competing's fun, and if I look like a fool, I look like a fool. But at least I'm out there trying.
Yeah, I don't know if this is. Go ahead. Just go ahead, Jacob.
I remember the first time, the first time you sparred. I remember when I did it, I was like, dude, this is nerve wracking. I'm going into there. I have a freaking headgear on, but still, I can get smacked. It was nerve wracking. And I remember getting done and looking at my coach and being like, hey, I didn't die. You didn't die. You didn't get knocked out. Hey, you survived. Now next time, go do, because the first time you spar, man, it's just whatever happens, right?
You literally, this is what it feels like. It'd be like if I took a blindfold over your eyes and then you go in there and you just get hit a few times and you throw a few punches and then you take your blindfold off and you're like, oh, it's done? Okay. All right, cool. That was awesome. That's literally what it felt like.
It was remember everything we talked about? It just outwent it. It's just gone. You're just going there and just throwing.
You don't remember and you can't see shit. You can't see anything. And then now it's I see this. Okay,
I remember
I can see a little bit.
I went in there and sparred a couple times ago, and I'm sure you're the same. You were the same way at some point. You get so used to this, I'm going to protect my face, that you forget that you have a body below you, right? And so I went into this gym, and of course it's my first time, and my hands are way too high, obnoxiously high, and my whole body is. My body essentially should have a tattoo that says "hit me," like a target on it. And I remember just everyone in the crowd yelling, because it was the gym, and they all gather up. You go to a gym, they all gather up, and they want to see this this white guy who looks like he's in shape and CrossFit get beat up, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And man, they're all yelling, "Hit him in the body!" And I just took it like a champ for a couple rounds. But it's good learning stuff. It's a good experience.
It really is, man. The learning I've gotten from getting beat up is it's crazy how much you learn. All you gotta do is take it 1 or 2 times. You're like, oh. And then you start to see it. You're like, okay, that's coming. I can feel it now. So it's been interesting. It's been really cool. We've been saying, right? Learning a brand new sport from the ground up, man. We're seeing, I'm sure Jacob's the exact same way. We're seeing percentages daily, right? Big jumps, oh shit. And it clicks and it's 10 degrees. I just gained 10%, 10% better. I got 10% better today. Where in a sport like CrossFit, man, we're looking for onesies, 1%, 0.5%, man. That's all you wanted. So it's been really cool.
There was a girl fighting last night, a lady fighting last night. Jacob, her name was something Serrano, and she's considered one of the best female boxers to ever be in the game. Some people say she's the pound for pound greatest living boxer ever, female. And she was 32 years old, Josh?
Yeah, she was 32.
And her fight was amazing, wouldn't you say? It was by far the best fight of the night, and definitely a great boxing match. Hold on, Josh is texting. Let's see if he'll answer when he's done.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. You go ahead. We'll wait for you.
Hey, you don't call me out like that. That's
It's
not
only
cool,
four.
man.
It's only 428 people watching live. You go ahead. Oh, sorry, 432. And basically after the fight was over, they said that she has never owned a cell phone and has never had a boyfriend because she's singularly focused on boxing. And I was like, holy shit.
That was impressive. When I heard that too, I was like, "What? She was 32? Damn."
And that was sort of my question. Like, as you get closer, you're 18 days out. Is it like that? Is it like, okay, time to throw the cell phone away? Time to, and I guess you said it, Jacob. You're not going to the lake. You're not going to the lake to play grab ass down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure as it gets closer, I mean, both of us have things we still need to do. People expect things from us. Josh might have a team that runs his social media. I do not. It's just me, a shooter yourself. So yeah, like stuff like that needs to continue. People want to see behind the scenes of where's Josh practicing his sparring session at before he goes out there. What is his walkout song? Whatever the case may be. So no, I'm not putting down my cell phone, and I'm not divorcing my wife before the fight either. So
Good call.
Hector said that her name's Amanda Serrano, wins by KO. 41-1
with 30 wins by KO.
Okay, damn. Raul Soto wants to know, isn't Josh too short to box?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Good one, Raul.
Like you're gonna step into the ring and
Well
there's gonna be
Hey, well played. Good job.
hey, you know what though? Seriously, the guy you spar with is a pretty good. Like, to be quite honest, and this is not me making fun of anything, but it is hard to find someone. I have to pick guys I spar against because you're a little. And we're gonna obviously get in a little closer.
What's
to
that?
Compact.
What am I?
Yeah.
Josh,
He's
that's
saying
it.
All right,
Wasn't-
this fucking shit's about to change.
He's saying it.
But like,
Spit it out, Heppner. You're gonna punch this guy in the face. Just spit it out.
yeah, like the guy you spar against is just a pretty good height for me. Whereas, like, it's been very difficult to find someone who is your size. Because when you get into a
With
fight,
this
you're
kind
gonna
of
be
fucking power. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh, I had to have one of the guys I was sparring against like try to like fight really low, but the problem was when he's sitting in that stance, it's almost like a 3-point stance. When he steps up and jabs up, that thing has like twice as much power. And I was like, no, fam, I don't want that no more.
Hold up. Stand up. It's very interesting. I know. Yeah, I was. I know. Like I look at my weight in my weight class, and if I was a real boxer, like there's no way I could fight like what I weigh. Like I would have to drop tremendous amounts of weight to fight guys who are even like close to my height, man. Like it would be crazy.
Yeah, you'd have to drop like 30 pounds at least.
Easily.
Could you even do that?
I'd have to start to starve. I think I'd have to, shave my face.
Shave.
At least shave.
Oh, and what do you weigh, Josh? You're like 165?
No, like 170. Like 168, 170.
And Jacob, and you weigh 195?
No. I'm not that anymore. I think I'm down. I think I weighed myself this morning. Granted, I can't remember if that was before or after eating or going to the bathroom.
193?
No, less than that. I think it's almost like 187 or 88.
Oh, he's not losing that much weight. This son of a bitch.
Jacob, Josh just chubbed up a little bit. Really? When's the last time you've been below 190? I don't believe you. I think you're just saying that to give Josh false.
When's the last time I've been below 190?
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't been below 195 since I've been competing. 2013. I don't know, 8 years, whatever that is. 8 years.
And do you feel better than you've ever felt in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years?
I feel healthy. I feel very healthy. Now, that also could be like we're not squatting consistently every day, but I feel very healthy. I mean, to be honest, like I think my body's meant to be around 180, if I wasn't like competing anything. It's probably meant to be about in that weight. So it feels healthier to be at this weight, to be honest.
And how
Even
tall
better.
are you?
5'7".
Okay. So you're not that much taller than Josh. 2 inches.
No.
You're 5'5", Josh?
On a good day.
Uh-oh.
I'm 5'5", yeah, 5'5".
Balil Ahmed Khan says you guys will be fighting in Coca-Cola Arena in downtown Dubai. I don't know if he's just saying it to fuck with me, but I do not approve either way.
They're gonna give us monster drinks in between the rounds for us to drink next up the games.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yandy says that look up Hector Lombard. He's only 185, but Hector Lombard's not 5'5", right? I mean, he's like. I think Hector Lombard actually a few weeks ago got in Tyrone Woodley's face at a gym somewhere. Hector Lombard, he used to be a UFC guy. I think he's doing the bare knuckle league now. I'm not sure. Yeah, the bare knuckle league is brutal. Josh, what do you think? You think you're one and done, or will you use this to parlay into another fight, and especially? Yeah, you're going up bigger and better. I mean, do you have some lines prepared after you beat Jacob? Like, yeah, that was too fucking easy. Who's next, bitch? Just to, like to hype the next fight, or
No, I don't know, man. I'm like, I'm not looking past this fight. I'm looking directly at it. That's my sole focus right now. I have no idea what will happen afterwards. If I fight again, I fight again. But it's not on my radar right now. It's just this is. I'm really excited about this, and so, like you said, keeping distractions away, not thinking about that, thinking about this fight, and that's it.
You guys probably don't understand this, you two, but for me in my life, when there was courtship, like I would court a girl for like a year or 2 years or 3 years before like I could hold her hand or some shit. So like if I went out on a date with her and it was horrible, I didn't give up. Like that, fuck that. I put 3 years in. Mm-hmm. You're putting so much time into this boxing thing. Doesn't it seem like a waste, whether you win or lose, to just do it once?
I'll let you go first, Jacob.
I mean, monetarily, no. Like, I mean, that's how I think about things. Like when Coop first asked me, I was like, look, like I'm gonna do
I'll
anything.
put shots out for $500, but no less. I'll beat the fuck out of him for
$500. It better be
$500.
6 digits or nothing less.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could look at it that way, but I think, I mean, honest to goodness, the people that I've met along the way have been absolutely lovely. The people I've met, whether they're coaches or people I've sparred against, or just people that have helped me out for my camp, that's been lovely to meet those people. So those relationships will still exist going forward. So no, I don't think it's a complete waste if I say, hey, we're out. Like that's my boxing career. I'm one and done.
When you hear Jacob use the word lovely, are you just like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this dude up? I'm gonna fuck him up.
That's a good word, though. It's a good word.
It was a good word.
It
It's
is a good
very
word.
lovely.
I like it.
Very
it.
lovely.
Very, very Midwest.
I agree with Jacob. This is nothing about this is going to be a waste. No matter what the situation afterwards happens, whether this is it and I don't ever fight again or box again, or if I fight one more time, whatever. This is not a waste. This is a really cool opportunity for both of us to do something like this, and I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not like in my early years in CrossFit when I was competing, man, I felt like all I would solely focus on was winning. And that was it. And I didn't appreciate so much of it. And then slowly as I, grew as an athlete and grew as a person and got later into my years, man, I really started to appreciate it. And where 18, I knew I was going there not to compete. I knew I was going there to participate. I had a shitty knee, my bum knee. I couldn't fucking train pretty much once regionals was over, I pretty much couldn't train anymore. And I almost fucking pulled out so many times to not go to the games. And I remember saying, this is probably it for you. There's a very good shot. This could be the last time you go. And you qualified, so you deserve to go. You didn't get a fucking I didn't get like an invite because of my name or anything. So
ouch, Ben Smith. Ouch,
that wasn't a fucking shut up. It wasn't a jab at Ben Smith at all. Because
okay, my bad.
It was not a jab at Ben Smith because that CrossFit has it.
We brought it up. Now it is.
Shut
now
up.
that we brought it up.
Let me continue.
Hunter McIntyre.
Oh fuck. Whatever. Anyways, so that was literally. It was not a jab at Ben Smith. Ben Smith.
Hunter McIntyre's coming on the show in less than 24 hours. He's coming in tomorrow
Don't
morning at
care.
7 a.m. Okay.
Don't care. What does she do?
I heard that he wanted to fight you and you denied the fight. I'm just telling you.
I don't care. What does he weigh? Fucking like 220 pounds. He's like 6'2". I don't give a fuck. I want to fight my 10-year-old son too. Cool. Let's go.
Where were we? Okay,
Yeah,
you're CrossFit.
So like and like 18. I just remember.
Josh
like,
hates me. If anyone wants to know if we're going to do any more podcasts, no. Now you know. You can be like,
Oh,
you
man.
witnessed what happened.
I don't hate you. I actually, I wholeheartedly appreciate you because without you, it would be so boring. But anyways, in 18, I freaking, like I remember actually like being able to step back and like take so much of it in and like see it. And I feel like doing this boxing has been the exact same way where I've been able to like take in and appreciate these ups and downs that I'm going through and not just being like, oh, you suck.
Yep.
Like, you're not any good. You're shit. You're garbage. Like, why are you even doing this? Like, I'm like, no, you're learning, man. And like, I know I'm going to the ring with the same with a guy that's just at my level. And so I know that he's struggling the exact same way that I am. And so it's like, I've just been able to like appreciate it and sit back and enjoy it and not just solely focus on like the outcome.
That's well spoken, because I think a lot of guys don't look at it that way. They think about, I'm only here to win, and some guys like Frazier, that's fine, but like some guys forget, they lose focus. Like they'll look back on years from now and think, man, I didn't enjoy myself because I was only so focused on winning. Now you and I both want to win, but at the same time, it's a good idea of like live in the moment, appreciate the fact that, dude, you get to freaking box in Dubai. Like,
Right.
No one on this podcast gets to do that.
We're on
all
a-
these bums want to talk to us
Don't
about
be
it.
mean. Don't be mean.
We're
Don't rub it in our face.
we're
Don't
on a card like that was supposed to be. It started in Vegas. Like we were like
Yeah.
our faces are on a fucking poster. I was like, is this real? Like it was so surreal. Like I was like, this is
Yeah.
crazy.
do either of you guys golf?
Big golfer.
Do you golf, Jacob?
Nah.
Do you ever like go?
Shot at
golf,
76.
like-
It's not a big deal.
Do you ever golf like 15 holes and you're like, okay, I just want to be done, and you just drag yourself through the last 3 holes?
Sometimes.
Does that happen?
Sometimes.
I forget exactly where I was going with this, but I just feel like Josh really likes to fight. I feel like Josh like wants to fight. I think he likes the money, but like I think he's excited to go in there and punch you in the face, Jacob. Like he or anybody.
Yeah.
Like I think like he'd be like if there was some guy in a 7-Eleven accosting a woman, I think Josh would love to go over there and pound his face in.
I
Wholeheartedly.
think he'd rather punch Dave in the face, but I think I'll take
All of it,
gladly-
Dave, anyone,
I'd
an-
second place to it.
Anyone. He's
Yeah, I wasn't-
of
I
any
wasn't-
ethnicity or race can get some, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, my wife asked me as I had done a few sparring matches, and I'm sure Josh can attest to this too. Like, I grew up playing football, which wasn't a combat sport, but there's of course a lot of violence in it. Like, and I played defense. I didn't play no freaking crowded little offense position, and you have to have a little bit of violence in your body to be like, I'm going to hit this guy. I want to knock this guy out because I don't want him to play anymore. And when you're done playing that sport and you jump into CrossFit, CrossFit's a good sport, right? It's good guys. We don't really have a bad guy in this sport until Ricky Garrard comes back, which please come back and make it look bad. I love a good villain story, man.
6 weeks
But-
out.
Yeah, there we go. But
We got him on the podcast in October, unless he bails on us like Danielle Brandon. Ouch.
But the idea is like we played combat or violent sports in the past, and it has been absolutely enjoyable to come back to it and to have that feeling again of being like, I'm gonna hit someone in the face, and I'm gonna do it over and over again. I'm gonna bloody his nose. Yeah, I'm gonna get hit too, but at the end of it, we can hug it out. That's okay. But I get to get that out of your system. And I think what people don't realize is a lot of us who compete in CrossFit, some of us have that bone in our bodies. You just don't see it because that's not what the sport calls for.
Yeah. It's not there. I agree. Yeah, exactly, man. That's great. Yeah. CrossFit's a phenomenal sport, and I love it. I loved what it did for me and what it provided for me in my life, and it's I wholeheartedly think it's a phenomenal sport, and I enjoy watching it. I enjoy whenever there's competitions on, I'm watching them typically. I like sports in general, but you're right. There's something different about a combat sport. There's something different about going in and getting to test yourself where it's like you versus someone else. And CrossFit's like that, but really it's more like you versus you.
Yeah.
Where this is me versus Jacob. Like it's not me versus me. This is me versus him. And I'm jumping out of my skin. And I'm sure Jacob is too, man. It's for anybody, because it takes so much fucking guts to even step into the ring. That's the biggest thing, right? That's what people don't get. People will sit there and they will talk shit about boxers or UFC guys or any of those guys, but not one of them, if they put the gloves on, whoa, okay, all right, good talk, cool. I guess I wasn't saying the right stuff.
I mean,
anyways, so
his mom just has the top priority.
True, that's true. I'll text her later and say, hey, don't do that again. But no, like, I mean, having the guts and the willingness to go into a boxing ring or a cage in any combat sport, man, it's like, it's impressive to me. Like I have respect for anybody now who is willing to go do it, because it's not an easy task, and it can definitely you're putting yourself out there.
There's an easy way to make a living, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Very amateur. 6 rounds isn't it usually odd number of rounds for a fight?
No, well, it's typically 12, right? 12 rounds. 12 rounds are championship fights. You have 8 rounds was last night. 6 rounds, 4 rounds is pretty.
So in boxing they do even number rounds. That's normal.
I think so. Yeah.
And what do they? Because I always figured that the odd number would make it easier to determine if both guys were still standing at the end.
Yeah, I think so. It depends on from what I'm not like, this is, I'm by no means is this like set in stone, but this is kind of what I'm catching, like, right? Like guys in their early pro career only do 4 rounds. And then it goes to like, as they start to gain more experience, they go up in rounds. But then championship fights are 12.
Okay.
So, but actually it's always even number rounds.
Yeah, that is weird. I've never noticed that, but that's a great point.
And then what do they use as the criteria to determine the victor at the end? Is it hit? Is it like
so it's punches, power punches, your percentages. I think like obviously knockdowns is big.
So it's not how many rounds you won.
No, it is. It's rounds you won, but you win those rounds by that criteria. But
yes, it's 3-3.
Then it's just a draw.
Then it's a draw.
Yeah, there's draws in boxing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Man, I also think it's a kind of a play for money too. Is like if Josh and I draw, and Sevan thinks I won, and Brian thinks Josh won, and we decide to have a rematch in March, you get more tickets because it's just going to happen. So it's, I don't know, a money play, I think.
Frank says the main event isn't even that great anymore. What happened? I think I guess it's because I'm more interested in the main event than ever before, because I actually know Devin Laratt, and I know that he's a legend, not only in the special forces community, but in the arm wrestling world. And you should check out videos. You should Google his name and watch videos. He's no joke. And
I think the only reason that person's saying that is because
they wanted to see the Eddie Hall.
The 2 biggest men alive, like, you know, the biggest heavyweight fight of all time. I mean, I was excited as well, but I again am so excited still about this.
I was secretly hoping that they would contact the guy who played the Hound in Game of Thrones to be the fill-in.
But that guy's probably not even close.
He might not be that big, right?
Yeah. That would be good.
So Mike Baglio's asking, was it hard to negotiate specifics around glove weight and rounds? I don't think they didn't negotiate shit. They don't even know what weight they're coming in at.
We texted our gloves and stuff like that. We talked about. I was like, Jacob, how about this? How about these ounce gloves? He's like, yeah, sounds good. I was like, cool.
Yeah, that was a hard negotiation.
That was our negotiation.
I mean, when I interviewed Devin a few days ago, he basically said, he can't find shoes that fit him. He doesn't have a mouthpiece yet. And but he does have some gloves and I'm like, what? Mouthpiece? He goes, yeah, I'm going to go to Walmart as soon as I get off the phone with you and get a mouthpiece. But I'm also having a special mouthpiece made by a local dentist.
Yeah, those are key.
They are key?
Key. Huge difference.
For breathing?
Yes.
You're not going to use the airwave?
I remember the first time I went in there with like a Nike mouthpiece that they sent me, and I was like, I can't breathe at all. What's happening? Like, I can't breathe even a little bit. I felt like I was literally holding my breath for 2-3 minutes, and then I get my, I could like during the break I could breathe. But man, when you got that custom, it's legit, worth every penny.
I'm a firm believer that there aren't any stupid questions, but I also like the notion of someone trying to challenge that theory that there are no stupid questions. Juicy Kid wants me to ask you, Josh. Can you ask Josh if he recommends I buy his new shorts? I mean, what is that? Is that your mom writing in, Josh? Who the fuck is that Juicy Kid? No. You should go to the warehouse and steal them all. Don't buy shit from
Do I
him.
recommend you buy my shorts? I recommend you buy 10 pairs. I don't know.
Oh my god, that's still a great question.
Great
though.
question.
There are no bad
Great-
questions. There are no bad
Great
questions.
question. Great question.
That person,
Josh-bridges.com.
you're either sleeping with the Juicy Kid or the Juicy Kid gave birth to you. One or the other, because no one.
He's actually on his phone below. He's just texting it down below like this.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. I mean, that's not even a softball.
That was good. Thanks,
Let me
Juicy.
call in. I need to roast Jacob real quick. Dude, Jaden, I would love to let you call in. Oh, Josh, we did a and I guess Jacob too, since you're here, I might as well share this with you. We did a podcast last night, a test run, where we gave the phone number out because I have some pretty fancy podcast gear, and we take phone calls live during the podcast.
Like a radio show.
Dude, it was
That's a good
epic.
idea.
Long time listener, first time caller here.
Yes, someone said that too. It was awesome.
Yes.
How did it go? That's actually a really good idea.
That is
It's
a good
great.
idea.
It's great. So basically what it is, we're going to do it every Sunday. I'll have both of you on for this, and we're going to have one. It's James Hobart does the news. So like he talks about how Kanye released a new album. He talks about like exercises you can do to fix erectile dysfunction. He talks about how LED lights are affecting insects from pollinating stuff. He just goes and tells you the current news events from the last week, right? And then we let people also call in and chime in, and it's awesome.
That's
And
good.
and then we were supposed to have Danielle Brandon on the show, and she said she was in Miami and got her time zones all fucked up, so she wasn't on the show. But yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be wild. But someone wants to call in and tear you up, Jacob. But I don't have that. I'm at my mom's house because they're working on the electricity.
I
They're
mean,
working on
just
electricity
tell
in
him to
my house.
comment on Instagram. And everyone else does it, so who cares?
Yeah, just go over. What is your Instagram, Jacob?
I believe it's just typing my name. Might pop up unless I'm banned.
Yeah, go to at
Ghetto man.
Jake. Go to at Jacob Heppner and just talk shit to him over there, and I'll repost it, and then tag me and I'll repost it. Guys, thank you. But Brian, do you want to make a prediction on this since you're the prediction guy? Who's going to win this fight?
Ooh, with
I
us
was-
in the room.
I was thinking a lot
With
about.
us in the room.
I was thinking a lot about this. I think that basically the spot on my all-time top 40 ranking is on the line here.
Wow. So
So
you're
I'll-
basically, if Josh
Big-
doesn't win, you're going to move. Him and Jacob are going to swap places.
Big time.
Just swap them on the list.
I like it. I like it. That's fair. That's fair enough.
But
Fair
my
enough.
actual amateur analysis is that the guy with the best timing will win the fight.
Timing's big. Timing's big. Timing is big.
I think
For sure.
I think age is going to be a huge factor here. I think that I do. I think that the years older that Josh is his biggest handicap, and
But that's always been your thing ever since like CrossFit. You always talk shit about me my age.
I've always liked older women. Yes, I mean, but
That's-
I'm just saying.
I mean, but I listen. So the thing about this, Jacob, so you have nothing to worry about because whenever me and Sevan talk about UFC or MMA or boxing or anything, everything Sevan says is like the dumbest shit ever. He's that guy that, he's sitting there eating his popcorn and I would kick that guy's ass. He should have used his jab more.
Hey, you know what I do? Anytime I'm watching fights, anytime I text Josh, and I do it in this most pretentious way because I just want to let him know that I'm watching fighting. So like if I walk by a TV set and there's fighting on, I'll sit down and I'll be like, wow, Vasquez has an amazing jab. Just so he knows that how masculine I am because I'm watching fighting.
This one's gonna be good because it's only 2-minute rounds. What does
Yeah,
that
yeah.
even mean,
Yeah,
Sevan?
yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't even say like, hey, what are you doing? Are you watching the fights? I just like, it's like I'm talking down to him because I'm watching the fights and he's not. And I try to do it at least once a week to Josh. But
And
yeah,
9
that's
out of
our
10
relationship.
9 out of 10 times I'm watching too.
So That's yeah. We have a little history. I can start texting you, but you don't watch any fights, Jacob.
No, I don't watch any fights.
Talk about whispers.
yeah.
Hey, so how's whispers?
My wife would love to see me getting those text messages from Sevan.
Say hi to Shelly at Whispers again.
Her
Oh
name is
man,
Cinnamon.
that's good. All right, guys. Ryan, you can let me see if there's any good questions here. Why didn't you guys do MMA? I'll buy Josh's shorts if they're used. Wow, nick of time. That's solid. Do you guys get paid more for a knockout? Trying to figure out what any of this has to do
It
with.
is Dubai. It is Dubai. They might just last second bounty thrown down on the fight.
You're right, like that. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, that's true. I remember that was crazy.
Just
We're
right-
gonna add $30,000 for this event. You're
5
like,
seconds before they go in the ring, they go, by the way, if you knock him out, 30 extra K in your
Yeah.
pocket. You're like, oh, shit.
yeah,
We just go out swinging and get tired by round 2, and we're
Right.
just
just like falling over as I'm throwing punches.
Josh, how old are your boys, Josh?
They're 11 and 9.
Do they have cell phones yet?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay. Someone asked me how old, what age are you gonna let your boys have cell phone? I don't know when I'm gonna
I'm
do
getting
that.
there.
Never.
I'm getting there to like wanting them to have something that I can contact them like just directly. Like they have my younger son has an iPad that he uses because he used it for school actually, and so he does have that, and so that's actually typically how I talk to him through FaceTime, and then when I'm not with him, and then my other son has actually like this is even crazier, but he has an iPod. They actually still make those.
Yeah.
And it's basically just a very small phone. It's a phone, but it's just small, and it doesn't have actually cell service, but it has Wi-Fi, and I can FaceTime them and everything, and message them and everything on it. So
Can they
Yeah,
play
that's
that?
cool,
Can they
as long
play the
as he has
snake
Wi-Fi.
game?
play this snake. The snake game was savage.
I always
Yeah.
felt like if you're gonna get a kid their first cell phone these days, you got to get them one that has a snake game so they can see what kind of video games we had to deal with back then.
those were the best. That snake game was so addicting, so addicting.
Can we get a poll up really quick and see who the fans think is gonna win? We should have done this
I
from the
think
beginning
yeah.
if we were organized.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
For the next 30 seconds, tell us who you think's gonna win.
Because someone said this is a great line here. Oh no! Someone wants to know, is Josh even going to be able to reach Jacob's face? That's not a good line. Let me see. Josh is
It was
going to win.
Bill Grunler who asked that.
Josh,
Was it really?
No.
Oh.
ouch! No one is safe.
Oh, Grunler getting hit with the only thing he talks about, height.
Josh, what was it? Josh is. Oh shit! I lost it. Where is it? There was a one, but it was a funny one. It said Josh is going to win based on the 2 minutes I watched him shadow box on YouTube. That's a good line.
That was good.
I paraphrased because I can't.
And it
find
wasn't
the
even 2
actual
minutes. It was
post.
probably more like 30 seconds.
You guys, we're gonna end this podcast when we get to 100 votes. We're at 32 votes, so hurry the fuck up and vote so we can get off.
I'm gonna
here.
vote.
Yeah, where is it at? I'll vote too.
Let me
I'll vote too. Yeah. Where is this? Is this on YouTube?
Hey, get to 100. I got to get to the gym.
You coaching today?
Yep. I'm stretching it out to the last minute for you.
We're at 40. We're at 44 votes. I just voted for you, Josh, on my mom's computer.
I'm gonna skip the ad though, so you're not getting paid, Sevan.
Oh, that sucks.
Where's the poll at?
I think it's at the bottom or the top. It's at the top. I think
I'm not seeing it.
you just click on it. It's a little blue bar. The Sevan Podcast 1 minute ago, 55 votes.
Make sure your live chat is open.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you like that when Ryan talks to you from like,
Was that gone?
Outer space.
yeah, from the dark place?
I'm so sorry.
I always want to ridicule him for like, dude, what's going on in your room? Why is the audio like that? But it's kind of cool because then like it's Ryan. Okay, guys,
still
67 votes. Looks like it's not changing much. We got Josh at 70.
Oh, there's live chat. I'm like, gosh, yeah, there it is.
Josh at 74%.
Boom.
Oh, you just voted for
Got
yourself?
my vote in.
Who'd you vote for?
Jacob. Not really.
Out of boy.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
can people gamble on this?
I've been asked that a lot, and I don't know.
I'm gonna guess he can.
I would be shocked if you couldn't. Yeah.
Hey, shouldn't someone? Hey, Jacob. Sorry, quick question. You have 1 minute
Sure.
to answer. Why don't you have an agent or a manager or like something? Like, why don't you have like?
I had one way back in the day. I'm kind of a control freak. I like to control everything, so it was very hard for me to give that power to someone else. And the person that I had given it to was not good at what he did, and missed some things, and I didn't think was doing a great job, and so took it on myself and decided I could do it myself. Honestly, like I like talking to people, so makes it easy for me.
But have you thought? But that way, someone could make some shorts for you, or you wouldn't have to talk to Don. Or I mean, Don's a great guy, but
He's a good dude. There's obviously some advantages to it. There's some disadvantages in my mind. There are obviously some advantages in the future, so I'll consider it going forward. But I mean, I don't know.
would you recommend it, Josh, for Jacob?
Having a manager?
Yeah.
I mean, if he thinks he can handle himself, gets to keep all the money. But I mean, it's a personal preference thing. I mean, I
he
very
also
much,
doesn't have kids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's or some people just like he said, to be hands on, man. I get it. I definitely have times where I'm like, I might have handled that a little differently than how my manager handled it, but in the end, they're both. I actually have two. I mean, not two managers. I have my guy who basically handles my endorsements, sponsorships, things like that, and then I have Coop who handles like the coffee, the website, and he's kind of starting to dabble into advertisement for the YouTube channel and things like that. So I feel like I just have so many things going on. Like there's no way I could do it and still try to train to be a boxer at all whatsoever. So I have to.
That's another advantage you have over Jacob.
Just the age.
Time.
Time.
Okay, guys, September 17th or
/
18th. Yeah, the 17th is a Friday in the United States. The 18th is a Saturday.
I think it's September 17th. It's a Friday night is when it is aired here, I believe.
Okay. And you guys are the co-main event under
Core
Thor.
Sports World. Get the pay-per-view. It's $10, I think. $9.99.
You got to download the app. Yeah, it's so cheap. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I hope you guys fucking.
You should pair it together, Josh. You should pair it together with a pair of shorts and buy the fight.
Pair of shorts, and bag of coffee, and the fight.
And then
Used
do a
shorts.
raffle for the one used pair.
Yeah.
Nick of time will win the raffle.
I'll take my shorts off at the end of the boxing fight because my balls are hot.
Chris Drake just gave us $4.50 of the L, and great episode. Looking forward to watching the fight. Thank you.
Those are British pounds.
British pounds. Thank you.
The L.
In the hood, we call it the L.
Is that where your mom lives?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right,
Make
let's
some good mom jokes.
All right, let's go.
You're rubbing
What's
off on
next,
me,
Josh?
Josh.
When is the next Josh Matt and Sevan podcast? No one knows.
No one. I've been asked that so many times. I have no idea.
No one knows. I'll text Matt right now and see if we can do it tonight.
I'm
If not,
doing
we're
it.
replacing Matt with Jacob.
Here it is.
Hey, there you go. I can step in and be the greatest of all time.
He's planning to be back at Whispers later anyway.
Hey, I can come back.
Yes.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
well timed. Timing
Brian,
right there. But see, Brian knows about timing. He knows. He gets
Ryan,
it.
you gotta hang up.